So we've got the digital technologies curriculum, that's great, that's good, but the teachers need to be at a point where they feel confident teaching it as well. So, we have things in place like Tahirua Toru Tech to help them and support them to dip that toe in the water with digital technologies. There's a really good readiness program as well, so they can go onto a website and just, without sharing that data with anybody else, but just see where they are in terms of their own readiness to teach it. But industry as a whole is really excited about these changes. We're ready to support them in any way, through programs like Tahirua Toru Tech, Tech Hub, which includes visits into schools, but also just on an individual level. If schools want some industry support, if they want some people to come in and sort of help them put something together, there's people all around the country that are ready to help.
In 2017, I went to the Future Realities Hackathon, which was looking at using virtual and augmented reality, and I went along with an idea for a pop-up museum. I happened to be sitting next to Marianne. She wanted to create a kind of sandbox platform for kids, for them to be able to create their own content. She listened to my idea and she was like, "That's great, but can it do this?" And I was like, "That's a really good problem to solve." We worked on that idea with some other students. I went back to my boss at work and said, "We should continue this. We should do more around this." And he said, "Great, but work with the school, work with your customers." And we formed a partnership where we've been working with a group of students there called the Mini Devs, and we go along every Thursday afternoon.
I had asked the developers to help create a sandbox platform that will help kids create their own content, and to help education understand that kids need to be creating content and not just consuming it. And that really resonated with the developers, and we teamed up, we got a team, and we actually won the hackathon. The developer said, "Yeah, this is important. We need these kids making content." So unbeknownst to me, Jim kept working on the prototype and came back to me 6 months later and said, "We want to build this. Data wants to build it, but we'll only do it if we can do this with the kids." And I couldn't believe it. It was just amazing.
This was a really useful process for us to collaborate with the school, because by working with Newlands Intermediate, we got feedback and input into our product.
It's been the most incredible partnership for all three of us, for the students, for me as an educator, for the Theta developers.
And so when it comes to looking at the pipeline of talent that's coming through our kura, whare kura, we as tech companies need to be thinking, how can we support and nurture that talent? How can we actually start to work more collaboratively with the kura to be able to show them what we're doing? How do we actually understand the curriculum so that we can see how can we reflect that learning inside our workplace, so that when tamariki and rangatahi come into these Māori-enabled workplaces, that it's not scary.
Industry is important for a couple of reasons. We want to form positive connections for our learners. We have internship days here, beginning at year 10, and we want our learners to be able to go and experience a possible career path that might be of interest to them. So we're always trying to make those connections and establish those positive networks.
There's some really great ways that the tech sector and the education sector can work together to help prepare New Zealand's future generations, the students, give them opportunities. We see things like Tech Week, where over a week in May, businesses come and run events in schools and show off the latest cool tech, or kids can try new things like robotics and programming, or see how technology can make the water cleaner in their local stream. There's all sorts of ways. Through the year, businesses would welcome students and teachers popping in to work out what it's like to work in a tech firm. One thing about the industry is that it really wants to help. The revised curricula is not just critical for digital tech firms, of which there are an increasingly growing number, and the tech sector is now the third largest exporter. It's on track to be bigger than tourism within another 5 years. So just from a jobs perspective, that's important, but actually all kids will need these skills, and the digital sector understands that, and they have the skills to share, and they would really like to find ways to work with the local education system in their town and city to see what they can do to help.